Hi everyone, my name is John and I'm one of the managers for the Outdoor Adventures program at Campus Recreation. Today we'll be going over Intro to Campfires, so we'll be talking about how to build a campfire, where you should build a campfire, different materials you'll need, and in general, how to remain safe and have a good time with a campfire in the outdoors. Let's get into it. You want to make sure that you don't have any really dry material around that is very likely to spread the fire. So one of the ways you can do that is by checking for burn bans and fire bans in the area that you're in. I know right here, I'm great to do a fire. So one of the second parts you want to look at, and one of the most important, is making sure you're on a durable surface. So with fires, a durable surface essentially means that it's a non-living surface. So it's either where a fire has been before, it's on stone, gravel, sand. All right, now that we're building the fire, you can start to think of the materials that you'll need. So you'll need some kindling, some mid-size, and then some logs to really build up your fire. Now, kindling is probably what you want to make sure is the driest. So that's going to be these tiny little twigs you can see on the end of the branches. You can have some larger sticks as well. And one of the best things is actually if you can find some dry grass and stuff that in a pocket while you're hiking all day, it'll actually dry out in your pocket and be really great for starting a fire really easily. Now with mid-sized things, these can be a little moist, but of course you still want them pretty dry, and these are going to catch off of the kindling and help you light some of your bigger logs. So the logs, for instance, you want them to be dry as well, but they can be a little wet. As long as you have enough kindling and mid-sized branches to really catch these and make sure they dry out, so that by the time these are burning, you can have a couple more and then mainly focus on getting more logs to light. So we're going to talk about a few varieties of fires that you can build. I'm going to use these logs for example, as you can probably see them a little better. So right off the bat, we have the first variety. Now this one is probably the one that most people are familiar with. This is making nice little parallel lines, stacking them up. It's a log cabin. So you just stack it all up, and you do the same thing with your kindling and sticks underneath here to mimic it and light it up and start burning from the middle out. This is actually a really good fire for campfire cooking. It's very stable and helps hold your pot in place as well. So the next one we're going to talk about is called a teepee style. So as it sounds, you're going to try to find a couple of branches that can notch together, get them based into the ground in some sort of manner, stack them up, and there you go. Basically try to make a tripod and then stack other branches around. So now that that base is built, can put this one up over here, stack this one onto the front, and keep things going, and then build my fire down here. This one is called the lean-to. It's really simple. You find a main log, if you want to use this one if it's longer, or if you want to use this one because it's a little bit thicker, or stack them up. And then you're going to get all of your smaller things. So these branches here, stack them, just lean them up against there. It doesn't really mind if that one falls, we'll just toss it back on later. Lean it up against here, and then with your smaller kindling, you're going to put that underneath, get it lit, and that'll start burning these. You can then start putting some logs on, and I think probably the best part about this one is that the entire time you're going to start charring this log and start getting it to smolder, so you have a nice base of coals that you can depend on for the rest of the building of the fire. So now that you have your fire built and a nice safe area, and you know what structure you're going to use, what materials you need, it's important to consider how you move around a fire. You never really want to get too rough around a fire, so if you're running around doing a bunch of crazy things in camp, probably shouldn't have a campfire going on. But if you're sitting down, relaxing, walking around, it's much better to be slow and important in your movements, methodical in your movements, so that you're making sure that you aren't going to get hurt and you're not going to kick some burning embers onto someone as well. So another important note is I'm in sandals. Probably shouldn't be in sandals around a fire. or at least not open-toed sandals. In terms of general safety, you want to make sure everyone in the campsite is always aware of the fire, and when you leave it the next day, you never want to leave it lit, or that evening you never want to leave it lit. You always want to make sure the fire is really well and out. For instance, here I'd probably grab some water from the creek, bring it over, douse the fire at night, make sure everything was nice and soaked through, so that when I went to bed that night, I wouldn't have to wake up in the middle of the night to fire that relit and some things burning around me. Instead, I'd be able to sleep through the night, wake up the next morning and go, oh yeah, that was a nice, pleasant evening with a campfire and nothing ever went wrong. Alright everyone, thanks for watching. I've been John with Outdoor Adventures at Tulane Campus Recreation. If you'd like to see outdoor adventures around more, you can always sign up for one of our trips, and if you go online you can see all of our schedules and the gear we have available to rent. Now, the few occasions that you'll see us on campus, we're doing s'mores events, so right in line with doing a campfire. You can come up, we'll give you a stick, a marshmallow, some chocolate, and a nice graham cracker, and you can make yourself a s'more with us on Tulane's campus. See you around.